This is Brian Byers from NowDecatur.com, and the holiday season is upon us, mainly Thanksgiving this week. And because of COVID-19, hopefully families are not gathering in large groups, and that means probably not going to mom and dad's or grandma and grandpa's. The unfortunate downside of that is you got a whole bunch of people out there that have never thawed and prepared a turkey themselves because they've been going to their mother's house or their grandmother's house for the last 25 years. So we're visiting with Todd Mason from the beach house, and we're going to walk you through all of the steps on how to safely thaw that frozen turkey, how long to thaw it, and then some cooking tips as well. Todd, how many turkeys have you cooked in your life?
We were just talking about that the other day. Thanks for having me, Brian. It's right about 1,600 right now. Wow, in that ballpark, between 15 and 1,600.
All right, so you guys have got this down to a science. Let's talk about, most people buy a frozen turkey from the store, correct?
Yeah, most people do buy them frozen from the store. Yes, that is the case. And okay. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, a lot of those people probably wait to the last minute, or they don't realize how long it takes to thaw a turkey.
Oh, yeah. And it takes, a good several days to thaw a turkey. Basically, typically the instructions will say for so many days prior to the day of cooking that you need to thaw it out and make sure the internal temperature of the turkey is down to around 40 degrees, which would be up from freezing, and the bones and the meat and the fat and the skin all at a freezing, like when it's in the freezer, around a 0 temperature. You want to make sure it's brought up to at least 40 degrees, which is your typical cooling temperature of a refrigerator or whatnot, before you stick it into the oven. Because if you don't, the ice crystals in the turkey itself will damage the cooking process.
Okay, so it's not only health related, but it's also for taste. Now, from what I understand, in anticipation of this interview, I called the Butterball 1-800 hotline, and here's what I found out. They say 24 hours thawing for every 5 pounds of turkey.
Yeah.
That sound about right? And for quicker thawing, you can place the turkey in a cold water bath, but it's not safe to thaw a turkey with warm water. So you can speed it up a little bit, but make sure you use cool water.
Yeah. And what's important about that is that a lot of people will end up calling me or asking me or calling us at this time of year when they do have a frozen solid turkey and they just picked it up on Wednesday. Well, that's going to be a problem. So what you can do is, if you don't have a sink that's big enough or whatnot, get a cooler or something, and you want to run cold water over that turkey, not hot water, because the hot water, anything over 78 degrees, will start cooking the turkey. And while I know that isn't a high temperature, but it can damage it as well as far as your final product. So you definitely want to run it under cold water. And the thing you can do to speed it up is you can run cold water over it, and you can also put the spout or the spigot of the water through the cavity of the turkey as well to help it. You can massage it a little bit with your hands. You can move it around every few 5-10 minutes if you're in a hurry. But the main thing is you want to get that baby thawed and not frozen. But you can, if you have let's say a 20-pound turkey and you're in a pinch, you definitely want to get that thing thawed. And the best way you're going to be able to do it was with cold water in the sink. And it would probably be about a 2.5 to 3 hour process of constant water to get that baby unthawed.
Okay. All right. Now let's just assume everyone has successfully thawed their turkey and they're ready for the process. And remember, this can be a daunting task for someone who's not a chef, or, that you haven't done this for years and years. So what's the best size turkey? How big of a turkey? And what's the average?
On average, you're going to see turkeys 12 to 18 pounds in the store. And that's a good size. And, on the high end, you're 20 and plus pounds. On the low end, you're 8 to 10 pounds. But anywhere from 12 to 16, 18 is a normal size turkey that people go through.
Okay. Now I'm thinking with smaller get-togethers, because from what I understand, you buy 1 to 1.5 pounds of turkey for each guest, and so you're going to have a lot of startup families maybe doing this for the first time, and they only got to feed 4 or 5 people at home. So the smaller turkey might be a good option for them.
And it is. And when you do have a smaller turkey like that as well, the cook time is a lot less. But in that formula of 1.5 pounds per person, that's correct. That is taking into account that it's a whole turkey with the bones. Now, a lot of people are buying turkey breasts and frozen turkey breasts and boneless, skin-on breasts. Those you really only need about a pound per person in your calculations when it's not a full turkey.
Okay, so the turkey's thawed. We've got the right size. Now we got to turn on the oven. What temperature are we setting the oven at?
325 degrees.
325.
A lot of instructions will say between 325 and 350. We always err on the lower end of cooking to slow processes down, and that's always the best way for us in a kitchen environment.
Okay, so at that 325, how long do you have to cook the turkey?
The rule of thumb is 20 minutes per pound. 20 minutes for every pound. So you got a 10-pound turkey, 200 minutes, divide that by 60, that's your time. So just a basic rule of thumb you can follow no matter whether it's breast of turkey or anything else, a whole turkey, 20 minutes per pound, and you're in good shape, and it's a safe guess. And anytime you read the instructions on a Butterball or whatever it might be, whether it's a temperature, whether it's a process, those are very safeguarded. So they would err on the side of caution as well. So if anything, it's more than what you would need to do in instruction processes.
Okay, so if you want to take the temperature of the turkey, from what I understand, and I've never done this, the thickest part of the thigh should be at least 165 degrees. Does that sound right?
That is correct. And you can pick up a thermometer at the store for a few bucks. They look just about like that. And you want to find the thickest part of the turkey to go through. We always go through the breast at an angle because on the outside of a turkey, this is a boneless breast, whole turkey. It just doesn't have the legs on it. It's a skin-on turkey. Now, the top of the turkey is where the breasts are. We always go at an angle like this till you get to the and if you got a bone in your turkey, you'll hit the bone. And when you see that, it's about a 6-inch long thermometer. When you've got 90% of that in there, you know you're in there good. And there's 2 points of temperature taking. One's at the end and one's in the dimple in the middle. And when you hit 165, you know you're in good shape. And that's when you need to get that turkey out of the oven as soon as possible, because everyone's worst fear is a dry turkey. And the longer the temperature stays at 165 or higher at the very internal part of the turkey is the part that makes it dry, because it's going to keep cooking and cooking and cooking. So, I mean, you could call it an overdone turkey if you will, but when your interior temperature is at 165, the outskirt of the turkey is about 220, 240 in that ballpark. Okay, well, that's great. But the farther in, when it hits 165, pull it out. And that's your prime opportunity to not go too high.
Okay, so once you get it out, should it rest for a while? When is it ready to carve?
It's ready. You want to let it rest about 15, 20 minutes. Just let it sit there. And a lot of times people will take the drippings and make gravy to make noodles or whatever out of it. And that's what we do. We also use the vegetables that we layer the turkey in. So, for example, and that was a tip too, we just lay celery, carrots, and potatoes in the base of a pan, and we always set a turkey on top of those. Those end up coming out tasting fabulous in the turkey drippings. So in that 20-minute time period that you want to wait to carve, it gives that turkey a chance to rest, suck up some moisture, And then you can do other things prepping, or because you've got a lot on your plate for Thanksgiving, you're probably setting the table or doing whatever. But you let that time get the turkey cool off, because it's going to be super hot on the inside. It's going to be hot to the touch. Lets it cool. Lets it suck the moisture in. 20 minutes is a good time window.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the Mason family Thanksgiving. What's on the menu?
Well, the menu this year is obviously a turkey, and I cook it. And I do the cooking this year because we're scaling back quite a bit. Normally it's a large process, and 20 or 30 of us at my mother's house, but this year it's going to be about 6 of us. And so what we will have on the menu this year is a turkey from the beach house. We'll have turkey and noodles that we make from scratch, and that's part of our Thanksgiving package we're sending out here. We'll have some of the beach house mac and cheese, and you have to have mashed potatoes and gravy that you use from the turkey drippings to make the gravy. And that's it on my end. And then my siblings will bring in some desserts, and I think green bean casserole and rolls and stuff like that.
Okay. Is it dressing or is it stuffing?
I call it stuffing.
Okay, but do you cook it outside the bird?
Yes. Yes. And in fact, over the years, we have experimented and tried putting things inside the bird, stuffing it with apples, vegetables, garlic, you name it. And what we have found that it never makes much difference, Brian, what you put in it. So what we do with every turkey we do is we throw about 1 pound of butter inside the turkey, a bunch of salt and pepper and garlic, and that's it. Now, over the years, we found that has been our best trick for moisture and having a good taste. And the reason why a lot of times the meat tastes dry in your mouth, especially turkey, is because turkey meat, white meat, doesn't trigger your salivary glands like red meat does. So it's going to be dry. So your mouth is not naturally going to crave the meat and salivate and get that meat. But in any event, the reason why is because the lack of salt in the taste of the meat. So if anything, don't be afraid to salt and pepper and garlic the heck out of the turkey on the outside, inside, whatever. You're probably never going to do too much.
Okay. Any fast rules on leftovers? I mean, how long? People are, we're heading into a 5-day weekend, right? How long can you still safely eat turkey?
You can safely eat turkey as long as you refrigerate the leftovers within, according to the health department's policies, is within 2 hours. Now, and then it has to stay in the refrigerator until you're ready to reheat it again back up to a safe temperature. But if you leave something out 3 or 4 hours, like people pick on throughout the afternoon, is it risky? Yeah, but people do it, and it's an individual call. But I personally, if I have something setting out, it gets wrapped and refrigerated within the hour. So,
okay, and then how long is it good in the refrigerator? How many days?
7.
7 days. That's longer than I would have guessed. Okay, Talk to me a little bit about what the beach house is doing. Clearly, you're cooking turkeys, but you're going to be open for business as far as takeout is concerned. You're also getting involved in some other areas. What are you guys doing to get through this incredibly tough time? Because I know people miss coming to see you. It's just we're living in a different world right now. How can people still support the Masons and the beach house?
Well, right now, what we do is, the main goal here, Brian, is, obviously safety of our community and our fellow man. But the goal for us is to put our employees to work during the holidays. We want to keep them, try to keep their life as normal as possible. And the only way I can try to help foster that is to encourage our takeaway, to-goes, caterings, drop-offs. So our biggest focus right now is my employees and keeping them busy and giving them work to do and promoting our takeaway, to-go, and catering deliveries that we do. And we're Facebook promoting. In the near future, we got a new program coming out to where we're going to promote opportunities for companies to offer lunch sandwiches, hot delivered very fast at a good price to from 10 to 200 people if they'd like. Also, you can typically go to DoorDash and call here, and we can have stuff ready. We deliver in some instances, and you can come pick up at any time. So the goal basically is to try to market ourselves on Facebook with the items we choose to promote and have people hopefully take care of their people and needs and order up.
Yeah. Also, right ahead of the holidays, it's easy to go on the Beach House website and buy gift cards. Still a great idea for stocking stuffers. People can get the support. And that puts a cash infusion to you guys right away, even if they wait a couple of months before they use it.
Oh yeah, and they never expire. So that's the nice thing. And gift cards are always a great idea, and that's what we do for most of our employees here. Is we'll buy Angie and I'll buy gift card, or Angie, but she'll buy gift cards from local places around town, and then that's what we give out, and it works out real well. And we always want to support our fellow small businesses here in town. So yeah, it's a great idea.
All right. Well, listen, the best to you guys and your staff and your crew. You guys are just one of the great leaders in this community. Have a great Thanksgiving. Our best to Angie. Thanks for all the safety tips.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And you have a great Thanksgiving as well.
All right. Todd Mason in the Beach House.